Title, Chapter 1, The Urban Exodus and a Generation's Disillusionment. Content, Scene Start, Opening Shot, Time-lapse of a bustling megacity, traffic flowing, buildings piercing the sky. Overlay with text, the concrete jungle, narrator, voiceover, calm and thoughtful. For decades, the city has been the undeniable magnet, the crucible of ambition, innovation, and perceived opportunity. A place where dreams were built, brick by digital brick. But for a new generation, the glow of the skyline has begun to dim, replaced by a growing shadow of disillusionment. Cut to close-up of a Gen Alpha teenager, maybe 17 to 18, looking out a grimy apartment window. Sound of sirens distantly. Narrator, meet Generation Alpha. Born into a world already grappling with the climate crisis, digital saturation, and an economic landscape often more treacherous than promised. They are the first fully 21st century generation, often labeled digital natives, yet ironically, many are seeking an escape from the very screens and systems that define their upbringing. Interviewee Lena, 19, former city resident. I grew up with the internet in my hand, climate disaster headlines on every feed, and the constant hum of a city that felt like it was devouring itself. Everything felt temporary, unstable. What future was there for me in a place like that? Narrator, the anxieties are manifold: eco-grief from worsening climate predictions, the relentless pressure of hyper-connectivity, the prohibitive cost of urban living, and a profound sense of disconnection from the natural world. This isn't just about moving to the suburbs, it's a radical reimagining of existence. Cut to fast-paced montage of urban stressors, congestion, pollution, crowded subways, people staring at phones. Contrast with serene images of forests, rivers, sunlight filtering through leaves. Narrator, from this fertile ground of disenchantment, a nascent movement has begun to sprout, the rewilding movement. Not merely an ecological restoration of landscapes, but a deeply personal and communal reclamation of human-nature connection. And at its forefront, surprisingly, is Gen Alpha, trading concrete for canopy, screens for soil, and the relentless pace of modernity for the timeless rhythm of the forest. Scene E&D, Title, Chapter 2, Roots of Rewilding, From Concept to Community. Content, Scene Start, Opening Shot, a hand digging into rich soil, planting a seedling. Soft, folksy music begins. Narrator, the term rewilding traditionally refers to large-scale conservation efforts aimed at restoring ecosystems and wilderness areas. But for Gen Alpha, it has taken on a profoundly human dimension. It's about rewilding themselves, their communities, and their way of life. Cut to historical footage/photos of 1960s 70s back to the land movements and early ECO villages. Then fade to modern photos of young people building with natural materials. Narrator, while echoes of past back to the land movements resonate, this iteration is distinct. It's not a complete rejection of technology, nor is it driven solely by ideological purity. Instead, it's a pragmatic, often tech-savvy, quest for resilience and genuine connection in an uncertain future. They aren't just moving out, they're moving into intentional communities, off-grid forest colonies. Interviewee JAX, 22, co-founder of /Silverwood Collective /. We started with nothing but an idea and a few acres of neglected woodland. The idea was simple: build a life that wasn't /T dependent on systems we didn't /T trust, and do it together. We pooled resources, learned skills from scratch, and made a lot of mistakes. But we learned faster. Scene, documentary crew filming JAX and others constructing a small, cob house. They are laughing, covered in mud, but focused. Narrator, these aren't just isolated homesteads. These are colonies, intentional communities often governed by consensus, with shared resources, labor, and a collective vision. They emerged from online forums, social media groups, and word of mouth among young people searching for alternatives. Cut to a map highlighting various points across rural areas, North America, Europe, Australia, showing the growth of these communities. Narrator, the initial motivations are diverse. Some seek self-sufficiency in the face of climate collapse, others crave a slower pace of life, free from the digital noise. Many are simply seeking a sense of belonging and purpose that the isolated urban existence couldn't provide. Interviewee Aliyah, 20, apprentice herbalist. In the city, I felt like a cog. Here, I'm part of an organism. Every decision I make, every plant I tend, every meal we share, it contributes to something real. Something alive, narrator. From the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest to the ancient woodlands of Central Europe, these colonies are planting roots, not just for themselves, but perhaps for a different kind of human future. Scene E&D, chapter_title, Chapter 3, Life Off-Grid, Daily Rhythms and Radical Sustainability, Content, Scene Start, Opening Shot, Dawn breaking over a forest canopy. Sounds of birds chirping, a distant axe chopping wood. Narrator, life in a rewilding colony is a stark contrast to the relentless pace of urban existence. Here, the rhythm is dictated not by clocks and commutes, but by the sun, the seasons, and the pressing needs of survival and community. Scene follows a resident, maybe Lena from Chapter 1, as she collects water from a rainwater harvesting system, checks solar panels, and then joins others for a communal breakfast made from foraged mushrooms and garden vegetables. Sounds of chatter, chopping, fire crackling. Narrator, energy often comes from solar arrays or small-scale hydro systems. Food is grown through permaculture principles, foraged from the forest, or supplemented by ethically hunted game. Shelters range from geodesic domes and tiny homes to ships and cob structures, all built with an emphasis on local, sustainable materials and minimal environmental impact. Interview EDKI, 24, permaculture designer. We don't/T just grow food, we cultivate an ecosystem. Every plant has a purpose, attracting pollinators, fixing nitrogen, providing medicine. It/S a living library, and we/re constantly learning from it. Scene, KAI leads a group through a food forest, identifying edible plants. Another scene shows children engaged in nature-based learning, identifying tracks or learning knots. Narrator, education is often unschooled, focusing on practical skills, ecological literacy, and self-directed learning within nature. Healthcare blends traditional herbalism with modern wilderness first aid, relying on preventative measures and community care. Interviewee Mara, 21, community coordinator. Conflicts happen, of course. We/re still human. But we/VE develop systems for mediation, for consensus building. The stakes are higher here, our survival depends on our ability to work together, to truly listen. Scene, a community meeting around a fire pit at dusk. Serious expressions, yet engaged. Narrator, but this radical sustainability comes with its challenges, the relentless physical labor, the vulnerability to harsh weather, the occasional scarcity of resources, and the deep emotional work of living in constant, close proximity. Yet, for many, the rewards far outweigh the difficulties. Lena, voiceover, as she watches the sunset over the forest. Every day is a lesson. Every sunset is a reminder of how truly interconnected everything is. I feel more alive, more grounded, than I ever did in the city. This ISN/T just about surviving, it/S about thriving in a way I never thought possible. Scene E&D, chapter_title, Chapter 4, The Digital Nomads of the Forest, Bridging Two Worlds. Content, Scene Start, Opening Shot, a young person sitting on a log in the forest. Laptop open, powered by a small solar panel. The screen shows a video call. Narrator, it's easy to romanticize the off-grid ideal as a complete technological detox. But Generation Alpha, uniquely fluent in the digital realm, is redefining what off-grid truly means. For many, it's not a total abandonment, but a strategic re-engagement. Interviewee Liam, 23, remote web developer. We/re not Luddites. We understand the power of technology. It/S not about rejecting it entirely, but about using it consciously, as a tool, not letting it become our master. Satellite internet, Starlink especially, has been a game-changer for many colonies. Scene, Liam shows OFF a compact solar setup powering a laptop and a satellite dish. Then cut to a different colony member giving an online workshop on natural building. Narrator, this selective embrace of technology allows colony members to bridge their two worlds. Remote work, digital entrepreneurship, and online sales of handcrafted goods provide vital income streams, enabling them to sustain their forest lives. Interviewee Jitzieloi, 20, online crafter/educator. I sell my herbal remedies and handwoven goods through an online shop. I also teach workshops virtually, things like foraging for beginners or natural dyeing techniques. It connects us to a wider audience, helps fund our projects, and spreads the knowledge. Scene, CLOE filming a short video about herbal tinctures, then package her products for mailing. Narrator, they leverage digital platforms for advocacy, for sharing their stories, and for organizing with other rewilding communities. Social media becomes a tool for community building and knowledge exchange, not just endless scrolling. Cut to a screen recording of a private online forum dedicated to rewilding techniques. people sharing tips and asking questions. Narrator, yet, the challenge remains how to maintain the benefits of connectivity without succumbing to its pitfalls. Designated screen-free zones, intentional digital detox days, and a strong emphasis on real-world engagement are crucial to maintaining balance. Interviewee JAX, it's a constant negotiation. We have charging stations and Wi-Fi hubs, but we also have /no phone rules at mealtimes, and a strong culture of being present. We came out here for connection, and that has to start with the people right in front of us. Narrator, Gen Alpha's rewilding isn't a retreat into primitivism. It's an intelligent, adaptive evolution, using the very tools of the modern world to build a more ancient, resilient future. Scene END, Chapter_Title, Chapter 5, The Future of Rewilding, a Movement or a Fringe. Content, Scene Start, Opening Shot, a wide aerial shot of a flourishing rewilding colony, nestled harmoniously within a forest. Birds soar overhead. Narrator, as these forest colonies grow, a crucial question emerges: is this a passing trend, a fringe lifestyle for a small segment of Gen Alpha? Or does it represent a viable model for a larger societal shift? Interviewee Dr. Ilara Reed, environmental sociologist. What we /re seeing with Gen Alpha /S rewilding movement is fascinating. It /S not just about survivalism, it /S about active regeneration. They are demonstrating, on a microscale, how human habitation can be regenerative rather than extractive. The ecological benefits, reforestation, biodiversity restoration, carbon sequestration, are tangible. Seen, shots of flourishing gardens, healthy forests, and wildlife returning to areas managed by the colonies. Narrator, the potential societal impact is profound. These communities are laboratories for sustainable living, offering blueprints for resilient food systems, decentralized energy, and collaborative governance. They challenge conventional notions of success and progress. Interviewee Professor Mark Jenkins, urban planning expert. Mainstream cities are struggling with infrastructure, resource scarcity, and mental health crises. While these forest colonies /T replace cities, they offer valuable lessons in community resilience and resource management. Their models of shared ownership and local production could inspire urban adaptations, like community gardens or microgrid initiatives. Scene, return Teolina, JAX, and other colony members, working together, laughing, building. Narrator, yet, scalability remains a hurdle. Not everyone can, or wants to, live off-grid. Land access, legal frameworks, and the sheer effort required are significant barriers. There are also criticisms, potential for romanticizing hardship, resource strain if populations grow unchecked, or internal ideological conflicts. Interviewee JAX, it /S not easy, and it /S not for everyone. But it /S real. And for us, it /S the only way to live authentically, to face the future with agency. We hope to inspire others, not necessarily to move to the forest, but to question their own consumption, their own connection to the earth. Narrator, Generation Alpha, often painted as perpetually online and disengaged, is proving to be deeply engaged with the most fundamental questions of human existence. They are finding their voice, their purpose, and their community amidst the ancient embrace of the wild. Final shot, sunset over the forest, colony members gathered around a fire, silhouetted against the glow. A sense of peace and resilience. Narrator, their decision to abandon cities for off-grid forest colonies is more than just a lifestyle choice. It is a profound statement, a defiant act of hope, and perhaps, a glimpse into a radically different future for humanity, one where rewilding might just be the key to our collective survival. Scene END, credits roll.